What's up, everybody? Tyler Brown here with FutureDDS.
Tomorrow Friday here with FutureDDS.
And today, right now, we have less than 24 hours before we take our pulmonary renal final, and we want to let you all know how we prepare for the big day. Let's go.
So if this is your first time to the channel, Tyler and I will put out these videos to help pre-dents get into school, as well as show a little bit of our experience going through dental school. So if you haven't already, push pause, hit the like button, notification bell, as well as the subscribe button, so you know whenever we post up new videos.
So, like we said in the beginning of the video, we have less than 24 hours to, get in our final preparations before I take our final. It's always an interesting time for people because, depending on what you did, as far as the first two tests. So this is the third test. My first test, it was kind of iffy, but the second test I did really well. So for this third test, I want to make sure that I put in the effort in order to hopefully solidify that A. But like I said, I'm nervous because there is a lot of pressure in this situation.
It definitely is a lot more pressure this test. In a pretty similar situation, like first test always kind of catches you off guard a little bit. First test of the semester or of the course, you never really know what to expect, but second test, you come back a little bit stronger. Third test, hopefully, it's kind of like a swing grade, so hopefully you do well, you solidify your grade or improve, but it's always that chance of messing up and always going down. So
right. So another interesting thing about this time frame, it also serves as a time for reflection, of what you could have done better in order to get to be in a better position.
How do you train yourself?
Exactly.
How do we train our bodies?
How do we train our bodies? When we say that, we always get to a point whereas, granted, it almost feels like we're still procrastinating, even if we are studying 4 days before the test, we almost still feel like that's not enough time. Yeah. So, to bounce off of that, what I wish I had done for this test was really just start planning ahead as far as like, okay, let me make sure I go to class, let me make sure I review the lecture once or twice that same day, just so that when I did get, 2 or 3 days outside of the test or before the test, I could really feel comfortable with the material, we both had a really busy weekend, so I don't think that I studied as much as I should have. But granted, you fit in what you think you can, but like realistically, I probably could have laid off on some of the extracurricular activities this weekend in order to make sure that I felt better about the test tomorrow.
Yeah, that's real. Things all definitely come up, so you can't always account for it at all times, but it's definitely good to have that game plan going into it and really making those adjustments. Like everybody kind of learns the recipe to being successful once they get into school, especially exactly how many hours you need to put in for certain courses, how many times you need to see a lecture before you feel proficient or comfortable with the information. So learning that is kind of is good, but it's bad at the same time because you tend to procrastinate because I'll only need a day and a half or 2 days or 3 days to study to get an A or B or C or whatever, and then you kind of fall back on those habits sometimes to turn to bad habits, especially when you do have the extra time. You decide to fill your time with something extra instead of really solidifying that last lecture or going to look at your notes again. So I definitely feel that planning it out and being more prepared going into maximizing your free time and being more efficient. So yeah. At the end of the day, I always try not to be stressed, because at the end of the day, if you get stressed out, like your productivity is gonna go down regardless. So the best thing you can do is just lock in, see things as many times or as efficiently as you can, and then just be as confident as you can going into the test. Like you don't want to go in feeling shaky about anything, even if you aren't as confident with it, or if you haven't seen it as many times as you wish you could. So
fake the funk.
Yeah, fake the funk, fake it till you make it, right? All right, so for me, the biggest thing is opportunity cost. Like I always say that going into the test, it's like if I haven't seen it already or don't really feel as comfortable with it, I'm either going to really get comfortable with the stuff I do feel comfortable with, or really know that stuff and then kind of get the low-hanging fruit on the rest of it, or if you're feeling more proficient at everything, you've seen everything, you feel comfortable, then you just do a full run of everything. So right now, physio is really heavy on this lecture. So on this exam, it's like 5 physio lectures and then 3 path lectures. path of medicine lecture, so I'm really just hitting the physio hard because there's a lot of tricky things with pumps and regulation steps, different little things, especially in the kidney and so many different parts of the tubules, nephron, all stuff. That's real technical, but at the end of the day, like, it's a lot of phys, so I've been focusing on that mostly.
And if y'all don't know what he's saying when he's talking about like a lot of phys, keep in mind it's the pulmonary renal course, but we have phys parts of the course, path parts of the course.
Medicine.
Exactly, it's all integrated, and that goes back to our when we say that we're in an integrated curriculum. You know, it's literally one course, but it has a bunch of subjects for each test. You know.
Yeah. So what I like to do is color coordinate my notes. So I just write everything, color coordinated. Try to condense every lecture or every PowerPoint slide set down into 1 or 2 pages where I can easily just go back and review everything that's going to be in a lecture really quickly. This is like how I like to do it. A lot of people just like to re-listen. A lot of people like to use iPads or whatever, but this is how I do it, because really when you color code it, you can either think back where something is on a page, if it's on the first page or second page of a paper, instead of like, slide 19 out of 103, I'd be like, it's on the first page of notes, you know what I mean? It was in purple, I remember it was under this, it was above this, I was talking about this at the same time. You kind of use your association to, work through some things on the test and make it a little easier for yourself.
That makes sense though. And so I've definitely tried it that way, but that for some reason just does not work for me. Like, some people really like to go in depth. Like, they might watch the lecture twice, but they really go in depth. And I think that's what Terrell does with the writing. Like, he'll write down every important important fact, whatever it may be, and like he'll write it down. He'll get it off of 2 listens. Whereas me, I have to literally listen to the lecture capture. Probably I shoot for 10 times, and it doesn't always work out like that.
10 is crazy.
10 is a lot.
10 is a lot.
But it gets to a point where we can actually speed up the lecture. So I might watch the lecture the first 2 or 3 times on like normal speed. Then 4 or 5, I might bump it up to like 1.5. And then 5 and 6, maybe 1.75, or I might even have it on in the shower just so I'm like hearing little things, And so I actually even make a chart. I make a chart of how many times I've seen each lecture, and obviously 10's the goal, and I'm a little far away from the goal. But I mean, that just goes back to show you that, I recognize that I could have done more work. And it also gives me like a direct correlation, like what to expect, because when I have gone to 9 and 10, I do really, really well. But when I'm only at like 4 or 5, it gets shaky. And so, granted, when I am listening to these things, I'll jot down little notes, but I'm never really taking as in-depth notes as Terrell is. And so I think that when you do come to dental school, or if you're already in dental school, you're going to learn how you learn, because it's very, very important not to go based off of what somebody else says. They can give you a suggestion, you should try it. But if it doesn't work, don't feel like
you have to do it.
Exactly, because everybody's different. Everybody learns different.
And it kind of varies for class too. Like anatomy, it's a lot of information. It's too much to copy down. So I didn't write as much. Only draw like diagrams or like really important things, and then just re-listen to the lecture like 4 or 5 times, maybe even 6 times. But I listen to it on 2 speed. So like you said, it's like memorizing a song though, because you can like rap the song back or spit the information back, then you really know it.
And it really gets to a point where like you're watching the lecture and you know what the lecture capture or the professor is about to say. And that's where I like to be, because once you know that, then you pretty much know what's going on.
Exactly what's happening.
Exactly. So if we were to give you our highest yield piece of advice, it would really just be to make sure that you prepare accordingly. You all will probably get your syllabus at the beginning of the semester with all of your test dates on there. Go ahead and put all those test dates into your calendar, and if you can, make some type of tentative study schedule, beforehand, just so you know when you wake up in the morning, okay, I know I need to study lecture 1 to 2 for this class, 3, 4 for this class, whatever it may be, just so you can give yourself some type of layout of how the day should go and how your study schedule should go, because it's so important, you all. It's so important not to get caught up behind. And we've seen a lot of our friends. I mean, we've even got caught up behind a couple of times, and it's not a good feeling. And it just puts you in a situation you don't want to be in. So just make sure that you prepare.
Yep, and definitely fill those little gaps. Fill those gaps in between lunch, like 30 minutes here, 45 minutes here. It'll make a difference. Instead of sitting down, blocking out 5-6 hours out of the day to study. Like those 30-minute breaks here and there can definitely be a difference between like an A plus, B, B minus. It can really swing your grade. But that's gonna be it. Appreciate you guys always for coming in, joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the support. You guys definitely been doing your part, so we're gonna keep doing ours, putting out these videos, putting out good content for you all. If you like the content, make sure you stop the video, hit that like button. Add a comment. If you have any suggestions for us on how to study, how you like to prepare for a test, go ahead and add it down to the comment section. And always hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you know whenever we post up new videos. But that's gonna be it.
That's it, y'all.
All right, good. Wish us luck on our test. See you next week.